Hey guys. Oh, excuse me. Let me get that water out. Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy fall. Happy beginning of the new week. Happy everything. I don't know about you guys, but for me, Mondays are one of two energies, right? And for most of my life, they were ugh Mondays. They're the worst. But on weeks where I have a very cup filling weekend, right? I'm able to do things that fill my cup, but also rest. Like there's a good balance. Mondays, and I've planned out my week, then Mondays end up being like very positive for me. They end up feeling like a, fresh start, a chance to, not be behind from square one. So that's how I'm feeling today. I'm feeling really good about today. And today is Monday. So welcome. As you guys are all joining, feel free to let me know where you're joining from. We're on different platforms. So I'd love to know where you are joining me from. Excuse me. So let me introduce myself. I am Bree Beers. Oh, it has my logo. Let's try this one. There we go. I am Bree Beers. I own Bree Beers and Associates. We are a tax prep and planning firm here in Denver. I have owned that firm since 2017. And then I am also the founder of Peak Prosperity CFO, a newer firm that I started just recently. And we provide fractional CFO services for seven-figure business owners who are kind of feeling stuck and wanting to find more work-life balance and find more money in their business for their personal use. So that is me. Today is the secret of taking home an extra six figures from your business. If you're not quite a seven-figure business owner, though, don't check out. What we talk about today, or what I'll share with you today, really does apply to any stage in the entrepreneur journey that you're on, whether you're 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 figures. What we talk about today will apply to you. So listen up. Just the examples I give are typically around seven-figure business owners, just because that's who I work with my fractional CFO work. So that's examples that I kind of can feed off of. So good morning. Before we get into the secret, though, you guys, what I want to do is make sure we're kind of on the same page. I want to kind of set a foundation of something I feel is very important. Okay, so when we're talking, right, we're talking about that six-figure, seven-figure, eight-figure business. What we're usually talking about, unless there's some sort of qualifier, is revenue. All right, we are talking about the revenue level of our business. So if I run a six-figure business, that means I have 6 figures worth of revenue coming in the door. Revenue being every dollar that comes in the business for services we provide. All right, I have a slide for this. Ooh, let's make it. Sure. So revenue, all money coming in. All right, and then we have our cost of goods. All right, and you might hear this be called cost of sales, cost of service. These are any costs directly related to providing your good or service. All right, so if I make t-shirts, right, my cost of goods is going to be the cost of the t-shirts, the cost of the ink, the cost of the printing, any labor, like if I'm hiring someone to come in and print the shirts. All of that is your cost of goods, meaning if I don't make one shirt, there's no cost there, right? So revenue minus the cost of goods is going to be our gross profit. And then you subtract all the rest of our expenses. So these might be called overhead, fixed costs. These are everything that I have to pay regardless of whether I make a shirt or 0 shirts or 50 shirts. All right, and that's typically things like rent. Things like marketing, right? I'm out marketing and I'm going to market whether I sell 1 shirt or 30 shirts. Like my marketing expense is going to be the same. And so revenue, all money in, minus all of our expenses, all of our costs is going to equal our net profit. All right. And this number, as someone in the financial area, this number is the most important number for me. All right. revenue minus cost. Sometimes you'll hear gross profit. That number's great. And if you're really into it, that number can be important depending on which KPIs, key performance indicators, you are tracking. But when we are talking, when you hear the word profit, just being by itself, it's generally speaking about net profit. All money in minus all costs out, net profit. All right. So even though we tend to talk, and measure size in revenue, what I really want you to start focusing on is profit. Let me give you a couple examples, all right, of why I think our focus really does need to be more on profit versus revenue. All right. So I have a client that I started working with this year and at the beginning of this year. And when I was looking at their 2021 and 2022 P&L, their profit and loss, here's what I saw. All right. So in 2021, they had $800,000 worth of revenue, all right? All money in, $800,000 they brought in. After all of their costs and all of their expenses, their net profit was $200,000. Well, this owner going into 2022 was like, I want to hit $1 million this year. That is my goal. And that was their goal. All right. They wanted to hit $1 million. They didn't set any ways of doing that. All right. They were just like, going to hit $1 million. All right. And they did. They actually hit 1.2 million, if I remember correctly, that year. All right. So they increased their revenue by $400,000. They bumped it from 800,000 to 1.2 million. All right. Fantastic. Like, very proud. They made their goal. Whoop-de-doo. They were celebrating. But when they looked at their P&L, their profit was only $180,000. Their profit actually went down despite their revenue going up. And so basically what they did is they spent $420,000 to make $400,000. And this happens so often in business at every level of running a business. All right. We get focused on revenue and we get focused on bringing the dollars in that we don't necessarily pay attention to the profit. And sometimes our revenue may go up and our profit doesn't change, or maybe it doesn't, it's not exponential, right? Maybe we double our revenue, but our profits only go up, minimally. And that's because we're not tracking all the right numbers. We're only tracking revenue. All right. One more example that my friend Jamie Troll uses that I love. All right. I could go out today and make $8,000. I could make $8,000. I could get off this call and I could make $8,000 in I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. And you're like, how the heck are you going to do that? And what you can do, you guys, I can go out and I can buy $10,000 worth of Visa gift cards, right? I can go buy $1,100 gift cards. All right. And then I can go sell each of those for $80, right? I can sell them at a discount. Who's not going to want to buy a $100 gift card for $80, right? You're basically getting $20 free, right? And at the end of the day, I made $8,000 in revenue. $8,000 in revenue, right? If I'm looking at my P&L for this transaction, I made $8,000, but my profit is actually a loss. I lost $2,000 on the deal. All right. So just a couple examples that I hope really let you guys think in that profit. I really want you guys to focus on profits over revenue. All right. Profits over revenue. Not to say that revenue is not important, but there's a lot less importance, a lot less value to looking at that number than there is to looking at your actual profit. All right. And just to let you know that the clients I work with, right, we talk about KPIs, key performance indicators, and 2 of our indicators that we look at every single month that never change are profit and then cash flow. But profit is always a KPI that we're tracking. All right. So, okay. So hopefully we're all on the same page now. Hopefully you guys can really that's not even a secret for today, but what I want you guys to really start kind of shifting your mindset from focusing so much on revenue to focusing on profit. All right. And the reason you guys, so profit, I don't need this slide anymore. So profit, you guys, the number, so again, P&L, that bottom number on your P&L, that is the number that you're going to pay taxes on. All right. And it does not matter if you're an S Corp, a C Corp, all of you here are either going to be S Corps or Schedule Cs. I don't know that I have any C Corps that follow me anywhere. If you do, there's only a few of you. But whether you're an S Corp or what we call a solopreneur, a solo entrepreneur, a single member LLC, doesn't matter. Schedule C for tax purposes, right? So whether you report your business on Schedule C, whether you're an S Corp or maybe even a partnership, profit is the number that you are going to pay tax on. Right? That's also the number that you have to spend on other things, right? Whether that's investing back into your business, maybe investing into some sort of savings, or what we're talking about today, taking it out and paying yourself. All right. Getting your business to pay you more, as the owner. Right. And so that's another thing. So, okay, great. Now we're focused on profit. But what might still happen is that we're arbitrarily setting these profit numbers because based on what sounds good, what looks good, right? Like I want to profit $100,000 this year. I want to profit $1,000. But what does that number mean to you? Right? What does the number mean to you as the business owner? Right? And that is what's important to remember. All right. What number is significant to you? Because think about it, guys, even when you look at big, huge corporations, at the end of the day, what they're focused on is what the shareholders are going to make, right? Well, we're a smaller level, but we're the shareholder in our business. All right, we're the shareholder. We want to make money on our investment of time, money, energy into our business. We want a return on investment for that, and that's essentially what we're paying ourselves out of the business. All right, so that profit number. We don't just want to, again, just like we were setting, we all have been there setting arbitrary revenue goals. We've also set arbitrary profit goals, right? All we're doing is shifting our focus, but let's not make them arbitrary. All right. And here's the big, the takeaway for today. Oops. I don't know, slide for that is to put meaning to that profit number. And how we do that is associating that profit number, that net profit, the number at the bottom of our P&L, with what we get to take home from the business as a business owner. All right. And I know I'm a CPA, I'm an accountant. I know that that's not exactly how it works, right? I know that there's so many different levers, right? I have my S Corp owners out there going, but I pay myself a reasonable salary. I have people going, well, I pay debt. I get it. But there are nuances that are different for every business. But let's start with just step one. Let's start associating that profit with what we get to take home. So what we're going to do, you guys, is put a meaning to that profit number. And how we're going to do that is we're going to start associating that profit number with what it is we need to take home, right? And so this first step we got to do is create a personal budget. All right. I want you guys to create a personal budget. All right. What is it you need to get out of this business, to make it to hit your goals? And we're going to go think if you guys joined us last week, we kind of talk about the entrepreneurial journey. So let's go back to how a lot of us started our business with a side hustle, right? So starting with our personal budget, let's say we had to bring home $5,000 a month. All right. I put out all my expenses. I'm like, okay, here's my mortgage, here's my gas, here's my groceries, here's all the personal things. Added up, okay, $5,000 is my magic number. All right. $5,000 is what I need to take home to pay my bills. All right. And my 9-to-5 pays me $4,000 a month. Right. That means my side hustle needs to pay me $1,000 a month. That means I need to be able to take out $1,000 from my business and put it into my personal account every single month. All right, you guys with me? So the first step to doing that is, okay, that needs to be my profit. That's not how much money I can make. I can't make $1,000 in my business and take home $1,000. I need to profit $1,000. Remember, revenue minus all of our expenses equals profit. I need to profit $1,000. So I plug that $1,000 in, and then I work backwards and figure out what all the other numbers, what they all need to do, and we work some magic. All right, but it's figuring out what is that profit goal. So then now let's take it up a notch. Now we have our side hustle, we're making our money, but now we don't want to be working our 9-to-5 anymore, right? We want to replace that income and make our business our full-time thing. All right, so that means that $5,000, it all now needs to come from the business. So now our profit goal is going to be the full $5,000. What do we need to do to the rest of the numbers above it to make that happen? Right? What do we have to do to the cost of goods? What do we have to do to the revenue to roll down and hit that profit goal? All right. Looking at my 7-figure business owners, that's who I work with my fractional CFO work. with them. A lot of them were, not only their expenses are higher. Let's say they need to take home $120,000 a year, right, to pay their mortgage. To maybe they are able to, put some money away to savings, whatever it is. But their budget is $120,000 to $10,000 a month. They need to bring home $10,000 a month. So that's the profit we plug in and we work backwards. All right. So the secret to taking home more money is to set your personal budget. All right. And use that budget number as your business profit goal. All right. That's the first step. Create your personal budget, for what you need to take home from the business and make that the profit goal. Again, I know my established business owners, my S corps are going to tell me, you guys are going to jump in here in the comments and you're going to go, well, what about, I'm an S corp. What about my reasonable salary? I pay $1,000 a month in debt. Where does that play in? Those are all caveats that you need to work with, that you got to kind of work with. But again, big picture, let's start here. All right, let's start here with creating our personal budget and making that budget number our profit goal. All right. Then, for those of you out there, let's talk S corps. My profit goal, what I need to take home is $100,000 a year. And up here, I'm paying myself a reasonable salary and I'm taking home $50,000. Well, then I can do the math and say, okay, well, I got to be able to take $50,000 of profit out of the business and take it to my personal, right? Let's say your profit is $100,000, but you're paying $50,000 a year in debt payments, right? Principal, you're paying off principal. That's not in our P&L, okay? Just so you guys know. Interest is on our P&L, interest on debt we pay, but debt repayments of money we borrowed, not on the P&L. So that needs to be taken into account. And that brings me to the third piece of this, right? That's have a trusted advisor help build this budget for you, all right? And you don't have to tell them like, hey, I did this personal budget and I need to have a profit of $100,000 a year in order to hit, to pay my bills. You can just be like, hey, our profit goal this year, I want it to be $100,000. What do we need to do to make that happen? And your advisor is going to help you figure out what levers to pull to hit that business goal. Some of you are smaller, you're like, I don't have an advisor. That's part of growing up to this point. But again, the clients I work with are in this, in this 7-figure range. So if you're making 100 or 7 figures in revenue, okay, right, that top number, you have zero excuses. Tough love here, guys. You have zero excuses to tell me that you cannot afford to hire some sort of financial advisor. Whether it's, it can look like all sorts of things. For me, it's looking like hiring me as their CFO. And I go in there and I create we talk. So when you work with me, guys, part of our kickoff, we spend 3 meetings, and one whole meeting is talking about your personal goals, dreams, and all those things so that we can work backwards into that goal. All right. How much money do you have to take home from your business in order for your business to be supporting you financially? All right. That is the secret. That is the whole takeaway from today. All right. So let's make it big. So here we go. Summarize. The secret to taking home an extra 6 figures from your 7-figure business, or the secret to just taking home more money from your business, is to create your personal budget, right? You got to find out how much money do I have to take home in order to make this work, right? Number 2 is use that personal budget number as a business profit goal. 3, have your trusted advisor build a business budget. And in this step, you guys, is where they're going to take into account, like my S corps are going to take into account your reasonable salary. Any of my businesses that have debt, they're going to take that into account and adjust the profit as needed. All right. A really good advisor is going to take taxes into consideration. And we do that at Peak Prosperity. We're like, oh, you want to take home $100,000? We're going to pay 40 grand on that. So we actually need to have profits of 140,000, right? So we can cover our taxes as well. They can do that. And then you pull the levers in the business to hit the goal, right? It's like, do we need to raise prices? Do we need to cut costs? Do we need to add a leg of service or a product to our offerings? Do we need to cut something? Is something costing us more than we're making? And that's what your advisor is going to help you do. All right. So, all right. I hope this helps, you guys. I hope this helps. Really, most importantly, shifting that mindset from focusing so much on revenue to focusing on profit, and then associating your business profit with your personal take home pay. All right. Quick summary. That's kind of summarizing the call. So, yeah. So, also down there it says if you are a 7-figure business owner, if you're struggling to find that work life balance and pay yourself enough from your business, let's talk. That is what our fractional CFO program at Peak Prosperity does. Let's chat. See if we might be able to help you. So our next training will be Thursday. That becomes the 28th. And on Thursday, we're going to talk about 5 common myths about running a successful 7-figure commerce business. So 5 common myths about running a business. And again, if you're not quite at that 7-figure, I think some of these will still apply to you in some way, shape, or form. But this week, we really are starting to kind of focus in on my business owners out there who are at that 7-figure 7-figure level, who are feeling stuck. All right. Those of you out there that have grown this business to 7 figures and you're like, thought it was supposed to be easy now, that I'd be, working and, playing as hard as I was working and paying enough money to, those people who are feeling stuck financially and work life, like time-wise in their business, that's who we're really starting to focus on a little bit more this week. So again, as always, thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate you spending your time with me, especially on a Monday. Mondays are, they can be tough. So thanks for joining me today. I hope I will see you guys on Thursday. Same time, same place, 9:30 Pacific, 10:30 Mountain, 11:30 Central, and 12:30 p.m. Eastern. All right, guys, have a fantastic week, and I'll hopefully see you on Thursday. Bye. Hi, Karen. Now I'll end. I love you.